Thank you for joining us yet again. We are still continuing with this journey. This is episode 9 of Favor Book Club's online discussions. And I'm thankful for God. I'm thankful to God and grateful to God for His grace and faithfulness this far. The journey has been good, it has been exciting, and it is full of God's grace. And therefore, I also thank you for joining us, walking with us through this journey. And I believe that you're being helped. I believe there is some knowledge you're gathering from these episodes, and even as you continue to do your own reading. Like we said, reading is profitable, not only to our minds, but to our hearts, to our souls, and to our spirits. There's another episode we did where we were saying, I believe it was episode 7, that God was saying that because you have rejected knowledge, therefore I will also reject you. And that got me to thinking that you would think that God will reject a man because he's immoral, or because he's a thief, or because he's a murderer. But God does not reject all those things. God says that because you have rejected knowledge, therefore I will also reject you. So it is to our good advantage. It is to our good advantage that we garner knowledge and we get wisdom and walk this journey of life. And I always say that Favor Book Club is here to service you, to encourage you, to influence you, to get to develop and grow a reading culture in your life. Develop and grow a reading culture in your life, because a reading culture needs to be cultivated. A reading journey needs to be, it keeps on evolving. You evolve with it and grow thereby. And so we are here to encourage you even more, that you will take up this journey for yourself. Read and read more. Read and read more books, and encourage your friends, encourage your loved ones, encourage your children to read and read more books. At Favor Book Club, we always go by this hashtag that I am an African and I read. And I know you're there and you're asking me, Florence, where will I get the book to read? Well, we have a library stocked with good books that you can peruse and choose a book of your liking, a book of your choice that you can borrow for 1 month and read and return it later. And I know that it shall do you well. Not only that, you can buy the books that are available in our bookstore. Not only that, also we are here to also help you look for that book that you had and you lost, that book that was very dear to you. Probably it had been gifted to you by a friend, or by your father, your mother, your brother, your sister, or you had bought it yourself and you don't know how you misplaced it, or you gave it to somebody and they lost it and you want to replace it but you don't know where to get it. Get in touch with us. Tell us the title of the book, the name of the author. We will help you to look for it. Because what do I always say? That my desire is not only that you would come to Favor Book Club, to our library, to rent out the books, to hire the books. Not only that you will buy one book today, but that my desire further down the line is that each one of us will have, in the long run, built our own home library to the glory of God. And I know that we shall be helped. Well, today I want to ask us a question. I want to ask us this question. But before I go to that question, I want to read our verse for the week. Our verse for this week. Our Bible verse for this week. Proverbs chapter 8 and verse 19. Proverbs chapter 8 and verse 19. It says, "My gifts are better than gold, even the finest, even the purest gold. My wages better than sterling silver." What is better than gold? What is more precious than silver? But this is what the Bible is telling us, that my gifts are better than gold. And who is saying this? It is no other but wisdom. Wisdom is the one that is saying that my gifts are better than gold, even the purest gold. My wages better than sterling silver. In another episode, we realized that wisdom was telling us that before God built the earth, before God established the foundations of the earth, that He first of all created knowledge. He first of all created wisdom. Wisdom is the very first thing that God created. So that tells us that God values wisdom, and He would desire for us to value it in the same way. Now, this is what wisdom is telling us. Proverbs 8:19, that my gifts, meaning the gift that wisdom will give you. Once you embrace wisdom, in our last episode, the Bible was telling us that embrace wisdom like a sister. Ebu, imagine, I hear parents say that it is, they rejoice when their daughters are grown, they are working, and probably they are married off, because the daughter always remembers to come back and give to the parents. So now imagine the gifts that wisdom will give you are more precious, more better, more expensive than the gifts that your daughter can give you, than the gifts that you as a daughter can give your parents. They are more expensive, they are more better than the gifts you will ever give to your children. And that is why even now we have come up with this amazing merchandise, in form of these hoodies, jumpers that are, flaunting our beautiful logo over here, Favor Book Club, and our hashtag. That hashtag, I'm an African and I read. Not only that, because we want our children, we want our teenagers to develop and embrace the reading culture. These hoodies, these jumpers, they come fitted with these headphones that they can easily connect to the jack of their phone or their tablet. Buy them the audio books to get them started, because it's exciting like that. For them to listen to the audiobook, it will be very exciting. Nowadays, I know we have tablets even for our children. Let us get them this, and then they will begin to enjoy reading and grow with that reading culture. Because the gifts, the wisdom and the knowledge they will garner from books, the gifts that they will get after reading, after gaining knowledge and wisdom and understanding, they are far much better than gold, and far much better. The wages are far much better than the stunning silver. Like I said, today I want to ask us a question. And this is the question. Brace yourself. What did you do with your school books after you finished school? What did you do with your school books? The minute you realize you have done your KCPE, the minute you realize you have already finished with your KCSE, the minute you realize you have done, with your college education or your university education, what did you do with your books? What did you do with your books? What did you do with those books? What did you do with them? Where are they today? Are they somewhere safely kept, or you have no idea what happened to them? Well, in the high school that I was, they used to have this tradition of burning books. Burning books. Immediately they sit for their last paper, KCSE, they would burn all the books. And I would wonder, what if there was an error in the exam and the examiners decided that the people have to resit the exam? Or they discovered that there was too much cheating in the exam and the people had to resit the exam. Meanwhile, people have already burned all their books. What would have happened? So they used to lit this, they used to call it academic fire. I don't know whether in your school you had such academic fire. And they would start it, around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the evening, They would start burning. They would start burning the books in the compost pit. And they would incite each other, And you will see someone running to their classroom and getting their books to come and burn. They will burn the books. In the academic fire, there are some who would benefit very well, because they will come with the hair oil, oil their hair and stand next, stand next to the burning fire, stand next to the academic fire, and the heat from the fire would cause the oil to melt, and they will be combing their hair. By the time they come out of there, it's like they are coming from the salon, because the hair is nicely done, from the heat of the fire. So what did you do with your books? Did you burn them up in the academic fire? Did you dump them in a compost pit somewhere for them to decay and rot away and what have you? Did you give them out? At least that's a good option. Did you give them out to somebody? Did you donate them to somebody? Did somebody come and ask you, oh, you have a nice handwriting, please, may I have your books? May I keep your notes? Did you give them out to somebody? Or did you abandon them? That now, school is over. Masomo imeisha. Education, I'm done. So did you abandon them in your former school, in your classroom, in your dormitory? What happened to your books? What did you do to your books? What happened to them? Or, as the young men of the day, especially in our culture, our young men would have their own cubicle, a small house outside of the main house somewhere. And probably when they wanted to get married, then they built a bigger house. And they forgot the books in the small cubicle. What happened to the books? Did the fundis disappear with them? Did the neighbors' kids help themselves to the books? What happened to your books? What happened to them? It's a question to ponder about and think about. If your kids ever ask for evidence of whether you are ever in high school, what evidence would you produce for them? If they ever question that you have a college or a university degree, what evidence do you have to prove to show that indeed and actually you went to university? So what happened to your books? What happened to your notes? Another option 5. Did you turn your books into toilet paper? I know for some people that's what they did. They kept the books in a carton somewhere or in a shelf somewhere, and anytime they needed to go relieve themselves, they would just go to the book, pluck a page and go do their business, Or did you turn them into firelighters? Your mother asked you to light the jiko or the fire in the kitchen, in the small kitchen with the fire for the firewood. And you look for a piece of paper to light the fire, you can't find. You go look for your old school books and you get a few pages from there and you light the fire. When your mother asks you to light the jiko, you take a whole exercise book. You tear out the pieces, stack them inside, and you light it with a matchbox and you begin to fan the fire. Is that what happened to your books? What happened to your books? What did you do with your books after you finished school? For some of us, I don't know whether we are still going by this story. They say there are some kids, if they are asked by the teacher, did you do your homework? Yes. Where is it? The dog ate my homework. Were your books eaten? Oh my goodness. Did the dog that used to eat your homework, is it the same dog that ate your books? Hey, that dog. I want to see that dog. Or were they eaten by the cow? But then cows in the village, when they lack enough salt, enough calcium in their body, they tend to eat papers. So your books, were they eaten by the cow? That would be probably a nice one, because after the cow eats the books and the papers, it will produce milk for you. But were your books eaten by the cow or were they eaten by the dog? What happened to your books? What happened to your books? That's a question to ponder. Unaweza nijibu kwa mtandao. Unaweza nijibu hapo. Comment there. I'll be posting that question after this, and feel free to comment. It looks funny and it sounds funny, but what did you do with your books? What did you do? Because that tells you how much value you have placed on wisdom and how much value you have placed on knowledge. How much value you have placed on wisdom, how much value you have placed on knowledge. How you handled your school books. Did you just take them? I could see people in our school, they will stand in the balcony. They didn't care whether they were littering the school compound or not. Some of them will stand at the balcony of their classroom, and tear the books to pieces and just throw away the pages of their books, and the school will become littered with pages of their school books. Some of them will stand. There was a notorious group in our school. They will stand at the balcony of the dormitory and throw the books. Behind the dormitory, there used to be a path that villagers would use to walk, and they will throw the books to them. Throw the books to them. Uchokozi tu, throw the books to them, because to them, wamemalizana na masomo, wamemaliza shule. They are done with reading. What did you do with your school books? Well, that's enough for us to ponder about. But let me give us our quote of the week. Our quote of the week says that beware of false knowledge. Beware of false knowledge. It is more dangerous than ignorance. Beware of false knowledge. It is more dangerous than ignorance. That quote is by a man called George Bernard Shaw. George Bernard Shaw is the one that is giving us our quote for the week, that beware of false knowledge. It is more dangerous than ignorance. Some of us were burning our books because when we joined Form 1, that is what we found the Form 4 leavers doing. We did not know why they were doing it, and we did not want to find out, investigate and do a research and find out where they also got the tradition from. We just followed what they were doing. Some of us, some of us managed to go home with our school books. But then, yes, I need to light the fire. I don't have any papers around to light the fire. There are no newspapers, old newspapers or any old papers. So, this book, by the way, after all, chemistry, ati ilikuwa formula ya, this was formula for sodium nitrate. Where will I ever use sodium nitrate in my life? Pop! And you pluck out the books and you light the fire. Because we had the false knowledge. And what is George Bernard Shaw telling us? That false knowledge, beware of false knowledge. It is more dangerous than ignorance. It is more dangerous than ignorance. False knowledge will cause us to make costly mistakes. False knowledge will cause us to make premature decisions. False knowledge will cause us to react in a way that will cause us, that will cost us beautiful opportunities and beautiful opportunities and good opportunities that God has brought our way. False knowledge will cause us to mishandle people. Like there are places you go, probably they look at the way you're dressed and they devalue you. They treat you in a way that is not worth the way you're supposed to be treated. Just because why? False knowledge. That person has just looked at the way you're dressed and they judge you. They judge you. They gauge you according to how you look. But that is just false knowledge. Because as long as we are not taking time to learn and to garner wisdom and to garner knowledge, then false knowledge will land us into a lot of problems. For example, like I said, suppose after we burned our books and the examiners decided this exam was, there was an error. There was an error in some particular paper, so the students need to resit the exam. What would have happened to us after we had already burned our school books? Some of us, we burned our school books not knowing how we are going to perform in that exam. And I know there are some of us that repeated, school. You did your Form 4 exam and the grade that you scored was not the grade that you wanted, or was not the grade that your parents wanted or expected. And so they transferred you to another school to go and repeat or resit that exam. And meanwhile, you had already burnt your books. And so you had to start from square one. That is because we were operating through false knowledge. False knowledge is dangerous. Let us acquire wisdom. Let us acquire knowledge that will work to set the parameters for us in order for us to make good decisions and to walk in the paths that will profit our lives. So let me encourage us once again. Feel free to visit our Favor Book Club Facebook page. There you will find a list of books that you can borrow, hire at a fee, or buy. There you will find a list of my own books. I'm an author that you can buy or hire. And I know they shall be of help to you. I'm tweeting on Twitter that hashtag I'm an African and I read. After every episode, I tweet about the book I've been reading and for how long I've been reading it and such like things. I encourage you to do the same. As I tweet, get to tweeting hashtag I'm an African and I read. If there's a book you're reading, tell us about it and we keep this revolution going. Because we want to denote this statement that was said, that if you want to hide something from an African, put it in a book. Well, it's high time we denote that statement and really let people know that hashtag we are Africans and we read. Even by flaunting and adorning this beautiful merchandise, the t-shirts, we have the round neck t-shirts and the polo necks, even the jumpers, the hoodies, the beautiful ones in beautiful colors, red, white, black, yellow, and pink. You can also flaunt this hashtag I'm an African and I read as we keep this revolution alive. Well, our parting shot is always that with Favor Book Club, you are capable of doing amazing things. And it's not just a statement, it is true. It has worked for me, it is working for other people, and I know that it shall work for you. So God bless you. Thank you for joining us. Share this video with your friends if it has helped you. Share it with somebody that needs to hear it, even as we keep the revolution going. Until next time, hoping that you join us next time. May God bless you and keep you. Thank you.